PS5 sales skyrocket in all of Europe too. What will Sony buy next? Microsoft claims over Call of Duty loyalty. The Last of Us HBO viewership surges. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. New PS Plus titles now out. Let's start with a reminder on the new PlayStation Plus games that are now ready for download by all users. You get Battlefield 2042 on PS4 and PS5, Minecraft Dungeons on PS4, and Code Vein on PS4. The next PS Plus update will be for Extra, Deluxe and Premium users on the 21st, with an official announcement around the 15th. However, due to the latest state of play, we already had a sneak peek and know the lineup includes Tchia as a launch title, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, Ghostwire Tokyo, Rainbow Six Extraction, and Immortals Phoenix Rising. And remember, some games are leaving the catalog on March 13, including Monster Energy Supercross 5, WWE 2K22, Victor Brand Overkill Edition, Velocibox, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Override 2 Super Mech League, Ghost of a Tale, Dungeons, and Danger Zone. Will you be playing any of the new monthly games? Sound off in the comments below or vote in the poll on the community tab. The best-selling first-party game in the UK. In Monday's video, which went later than scheduled, sorry about that, we talked about how PS5 had a sales surge in the UK last month, and now another report tells us what's the best first-party game in the region for the whole of 2022. The Digital Entertainment and Retail Association, or ERA for short, indicates that the best-selling Sony game in the UK was God of War Ragnarok, to the surprise of probably no one, with a total of 671,000 copies sold between physical and digital, taking the 6th place in the ranking for 2022. What's shocking is that it sold mostly on physical, with PlayStation Store copies only taking up a third of combined sales, despite the trend going toward digital, with overall digital sales in the region being 91%. Other best-selling Sony games last year include Horizon Forbidden West at number 8 with 530,000 copies, and Gran Turismo 7 at number 12 with 357,000, both trending toward physical copies as well. The top best game overall is not a surprise either, with FIFA 23 scoring first place, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at second, and Elden Ring third. Meanwhile, PS5 itself sold 780,000 units in 2022, and while it was less than the Switch, it still led the charts in terms of dollar sales. Are you surprised by these sales numbers from last year? Tell us in the comments below. PS5 sales skyrocket in all of Europe too. Not only the PS5 had a surge in sales in the UK, but all of Europe as well, as the console sales went up 5 times over when compared to February last year, given the improvement in stock. It was comfortably the best console in the chart, more than doubling Nintendo Switch units at second. The DualSense is also seeing stronger sales here, helping the overall 1.27 million units of accessories sold from all consoles last month, which represents a slight 0.2% drop in the region. As for games, Hogwarts Legacy also commands here in the top spot, followed by FIFA 23, Grand Theft Auto 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and NBA 2K23 completing the top 5. And after launching last month, Atomic Heart debuted at number 9. The Avalanche Software developed title is the fastest selling game for Europe that is not a FIFA title. It also means Hogwarts Legacy has been in the launch sales for every Call of Duty game released since 2017. The only Sony titles in the top 10 were God of War Ragnarok at number 9, and The Last of Us Part 2 at number 7. In a similar way, the sales of the series have been boosted by the HBO show, with Part 2 sales up 317% over February last year, and remastered sales up 285%. Despite the good news, overall game sales in the region were only 12.9 million units, a 10% decline compared to last February, given there were fewer big titles when compared to Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Dying Light 2, Total Warhammer 3, and strong sales from Pokémon Arceus last year. Will PS5 continue to dominate like this during the rest of the year? Share your thoughts in the comments. What will Sony buy next? In a follow-up to the story from Monday's video that Sony may be looking to acquire Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two in response to the Microsoft Activision acquisition, the company only has $5 billion as part of their yearly acquisition budget. This was spotted by Resetera users in a Morgan Stanley conference where CFO Hiroki Totoki detailed their acquisition expenses, since the company set aside 2 trillion yen for strategic purchases in 2021 to spend in a course of 3 years. Sony purchases since then include Housemarque, Nixxes Software, Firesprite, Bluepoint Games, Valkyrie Entertainment, Haven Studios, Bungie, Repeat.gg, and Savage Game Studios, alongside shares in Devolver Digital, From Software, Scopely, and Epic Games, plus a bunch of other companies for the rest of the Sony group. The Japanese company has already spent 1.3 trillion yen out of its 2 trillion budget by the end of 2022, leaving only 0.7 trillion yen left, or around $5.1 billion to use in one more year. The thing is, those 5 billion are not for PlayStation alone, but the whole Sony group, which basically shuts down the rumored Take-Two acquisition valued at $20 billion unless it happens through other means. The same can be said for Square Enix valued at 5.8 billion, Capcom at 7.25 and Konami at 6.54. But let's say they can use those 5 billion for gaming, what companies could they buy? Well, let's take a look at gaming companies with market caps under that amount. That leaves CD Projekt Red at 3.08 billion, Kadokawa, owner of From Software, with around 2.94 billion, and Sony already controls shares there, Ubisoft at 2.94 billion, Paradox Interactive at 2.43 and Team 17 at 0.8 billion. I think the obvious one would be Kadokawa. Not only would they be getting a very popular developer, but a whole lot of media companies that form the conglomerate which can bolster all of Sony. Again, I don't think they will do that, and the safer bet, at least for gaming, would be they keep looking for smaller studios to add to their first party roster. But what do you think? Which company will Sony acquire next? Place your bets in the comments. Microsoft claims over Call of Duty loyalty. The UK CMA reported last month, as part of their preliminary decision on the Microsoft Activision case, that 15% of PlayStation players would switch to Xbox if Call of Duty became exclusive. But Microsoft disagrees with that number. A survey conducted by YouGov on behalf of Microsoft this past January found that number to be merely 3%, as reported by Rima Laley, corporate VP of Microsoft Competition Law Group, to Axios Gaming. Alili indicates this number is too small to hurt Sony's ability to compete, and too small to make a withholding strategy profitable for Xbox, while reiterating that it makes zero business sense for them to take Call of Duty off PlayStation. The Microsoft survey also pointed out that 10.5% of Call of Duty gamers who rank the franchise as one of their two favorites would have switched consoles. DJS Research was responsible for the CMA survey conducted in December 2022, and it showed 15% of Call of Duty PlayStation players that have spent at least 10 hours or $100 in the series would switch to Xbox if the game became exclusive. I agree with Microsoft that losing Call of Duty won't hurt Sony's ability to compete, but that number seems too small. Probably what a Microsoft survey would say. Guess what a Sony survey would say if we had one? In the end, this is part of swaying the CMA to their side. The UK CMA will have until April 26 to deliver their final say on the matter, with their suggested solution to approve the deal being to divest Activision, Activision Blizzard or Call of Duty from the acquisition. Do you believe a lot of people would switch consoles if Call of Duty became exclusive? Would you switch from PlayStation to Xbox for that game? Voice your opinion in the comments. The Last of Us HBO viewership surges. With the big finale this Sunday and probably the second season starting to film this year, as we covered in the previous video, The Last of Us HBO got a huge win in viewership with episode 8. According to Variety, the penultimate episode of The Last of Us Season 1 reached an impressive 8.1 million viewers on Sunday night, a new series high which also represents a 74% increase over the series premiere. Episode 8 is also the highest user-rated episode on IMDb, but you can learn more about that in our previous video here. What is your hype level for the finale this Sunday? How would you rate the season overall so far? Share with us in the comments. Now let's go for a round of quickfire gaming news. In a Morgan Stanley conference held this Monday, Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki said they are very happy to launch PSVR 2 and believe they have a good chance to exceed the number of units sold by the original PSVR, which is over 5 million. And if that is true, they see good potential for the AR/VR market, as well as the potential for tech development in that field. PlayStation Plus title Tchia is apparently looking to rival The Last of Us Part 2 guitar mechanic, as per a new gameplay trailer released by the developer this week. The ukulele mechanics allow you to gain an edge in exploration and combat, plus it will be important to the game's story, but if you are not good with it, you can set it to play by itself. If you're good though, it's a fully playable virtual instrument that would undoubtedly bring similar videos as The Last of Us Part 2. We don't have many details on Death Stranding 2, but the Scottish pop band Chvrches has said if Hideo Kojima asked them to be in the sequel, they would be there in a second. This is from an interview with scene player Martin Doherty by website NME, where he said there's nothing formal yet and there's a dance going on right now, but they are continuing to build a special relationship with the director. Kojima had the band in the studio visiting last January, and he also retweeted the article. Resident Evil 4 has received a 4GB patch in case you have a digital pre-order. It only covers miscellaneous bug fixes but should add to a hefty download if we consider the Xbox counterpart download size is 67 GB. In related Resident Evil 4 news, Capcom has started a new AR game as part of the marketing campaign for the title. You can participate in the prequel events by going to the website babyeagleismissing.com as you investigate and solve puzzles by looking at evidence from the president's daughter's abduction. I think this could be related to the upcoming demo for the game, probably shadow dropping after the Capcom showcase this week. Sadly, I won't be able to react to the showcase, but I'll be there for the demos, so make sure to enable notifications to know when I go live. In a very WTF marketing campaign, Activision Blizzard has installed a mural to promote the Diablo 4 beta inside a French cathedral. The Chapelle Jesuits in Cambrai, France will also be part of a sweepstakes where your face can be added to the mural, and you only need to reach level 25 in the beta to enter. Before you start worrying about this sacrilegious campaign, the cathedral is deconsecrated, so apparently it's just a tourist attraction now. The Diablo 4 beta runs from March 24th to the 27th on PS4 and PS5, and you can get early access from the 17th to the 20th by pre-ordering the game. 2K Games has announced the DLC roadmap for WWE 2K23, which adds 24 new wrestlers to the title in 5 packs scheduled to hit on April 19, May 17, June 14, July 19, and August 16. The list includes Legends, main roster, and NXT superstars such as Scott Steiner, Tiffany Stratton, Tony D'Angelo, Bray Wyatt, Wade Barrett, and a lot more. Packs will be sold separately or as part of the Season Pass, and the game launches for PS4 and PS5 this March 17, with early access on the 14th. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Share them in the comments below, let me know your feedback by liking or disliking this video, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!